Hi everybody, Pikminicus Toady is here. Last challenge, I tried to beat Pikmin 2 with the minimum required Piclopedia entries. This time, I will be returning to my roots of another Pokemon challenge. This is where I figure out, can I beat Pokemon Fire Red with only one Wishiwashi? Hold up, you might be asking, how the hell is Wishiwashi in Pokemon Fire Red? That's a Gen 7 Pokemon. Well, let's just say I made a mini hack to replace Corsola with Wishiwashi. This was because Corsola is not found in the main story and is a single stage Pokemon. I modified it with Wishiwashi's stats and an abridged move pool to make it work in Gen 3. And I used the sprites from Smogon's Sprite Gallery. Shout out to them, by the way. In terms of stats, Wishiwashi is literally the worst Pokemon in the entire series, even worse than Sunkern, with a stat total of 175. This run will only be with the non-schooling form to make it harder. The move pool is decent, getting Feint Attack and Bubble Beam early, and with a good amount of TMs. Anyway, on to the rules. First, I'm only allowed to use Wishiwashi in battle. HM Pokemon are allowed, but I can't use them in battle. No items in battle except for held items and Pokeballs to catch HM Pokemon. And finally, no glitches can be used. I decided to replace Squirtle with Wishiwashi so we can do the whole run with it. And so our rival would have Venusaur. Although I don't think the starter our rival takes will have much of a difference in how hard this challenge will be. After picking out Wishiwashi, I name it Oscar, after the fish from Shark Tale. Ha, you thought I was going to name it Nemo or something like that. No, I'm more creative than you think. Anyway, sassy nature, so minus speed plus special defense. Not that good, but I don't think it would matter anyway. It has Swift Swim. Dang, I wanted Drizzle, but I'll roll with it. The first rival battle we actually lost due to us only having Water Gun, which Bulbasaur resists. Even though we have a super effective move on the first gym, I still think I'll need to grind to level 14 to learn Bubble Beam, because we are still too weak to even take down a few Pidgeys and Rattatas on Route 1. At least because we only have special moves, grinding on Metapods and Kakunas would actually be easy. At level 9, I learned Feint Attack, which should be good for the grass types, at least in the short term. After making it to Pewter City, I decided it would be a good idea to go and try the optional rival battle in Route 22. Pidgey goes down no problem with some water guns, but when Bulbasaur came out, I was scared. I thought I had a grass type move, but I just used Tackle and my Feint Attacks took it down. After that, I leveled up to 14 and replaced Water Gun with Bubble Beam. I think I'm ready to challenge the gym. How bad could this go? I have a move that's quite effective on them, and early game stats are all pretty similar, so it should be fine. And I was right. I one-shot both of his Pokemon, with only Onix getting a weak tackle off. I think I over-prepared for that one. After getting the running shoes and finally being able to move faster than a snail, I headed on to Route 3. This trainer battle really shows how piss poor our stats are. Oscar can't even one-shot a Pidgey that is 7 levels under it. Jeez. Mount Moon is next, which wasn't that difficult to get through until Super Nerd Miguel. Oscar was already damaged by that point, and his grammar used poison gas, so we were doomed. Already losing to a regular trainer is pretty brutal. The next attempt went better, although I was scared when he used Disable to disable my Bubble Beam. I beat him no problem after that. I decided to take the Dome Fossil because Kabuto is better anyway, and headed outside. Once I got to Cerulean, I wasted no time and challenged my rival. It was a total loss. Pidgeotto's Gust did the same amount of damage as my Bubble Beams, and he actually switched to Bulbasaur to finish me off faster. I probably need to grind. I can't say I expected my poor stats to catch up that quickly. While grinding, Oscar hit level 22 and learned Takedown. It might be useful, but the recoil might kill us. Grinding here was fine, although I should have killed the trainers in Mount Moon before coming here. Trying my rival again, and it goes a bit better, but his sand attacks ruin me and his Bulbasaur finishes me off. I'll try again and see what happens. It didn't go much better this time. I got put to sleep and finished off. I think I'll try my luck with the gym instead. The gym trainers go pretty well, despite me using nothing but Feint Attacks, but we'll see about Misty. First attempt, and her Staryu shuts me down. I might need to grind a little bit, but I'll try again and see if I get lucky. Well, I killed Staryu pretty easily despite the crit, but Starmie takes very little damage from Feint Attack and does a lot with Water Pulse. I think I'll have to hit at least level 30 before coming back. After hitting level 30, I decide to try my rival again. It's a total beatdown again. His Bulbasaur puts me to sleep and I can't do anything about it. Maybe if Sleep Powder misses I'll win? Then I get this attempt. I KO his Pidgeotto no problem, and his Bulbasaur comes in. I try using Takedown instead of Feint Attack, and it does over half, so I'm pretty happy. Then, he goes for Poison Powder, and misses. So my next Takedown takes him out. After that, his Abra and Rattata were pushovers, so I win. Why didn't I try this earlier? After beating up all the trainers in routes 24 and 25, and doing the Bill mission, I decided to challenge Misty again. This battle was insane. First, her Staryu doesn't even bother with Harden and just goes for Water Pulse, but it also takes massive damage from takedown. I'm scared when my first takedown misses, but Staryu goes down pretty easily. Starmie comes out and does decent damage with Water Pulse, but it's a 3-hit KO with Feint Attack. Her next Water Pulse puts me in KO range and she's faster, but then my next Feint Attack crits for the win. That was insanely lucky. Next is the SSN. Most of the trainers were pretty easy, so I got some levels before going on to the rival. The first rival attempt goes really poorly. Pidgeotto goes down in one hit to a critical Bubble Beam, but Ivysaur quickly shuts me down when 2 of my 3 takedowns miss, and he poisons me. If all of my takedowns hit, then I could probably win. Second attempt. Ivysaur uses Leech Seed, which seals my fate. Combine that with the Sleep Powder and I'm toast. Finally, I get an attempt where takedown doesn't miss and Sleep Powder does. So once that happens, I get past his Ivysaur. The rest of his team is an absolute pushover, so I win. After fighting as many trainers as I possibly can, I go and challenge the gym. I'm horrendously scared. While I'm fighting the trainers, Oscar learns Double Edge. Finally, a reliable move. I thought I was going to win on my first try when I got all the way to Raichu. However, his Shockwave just destroys me. I try again and get this amazing attempt. First, Voltorb goes for Screech instead of Shockwave, and I one-shot Pikachu, so I'm at full health when Raichu comes in. He goes for Double Team after I hit him for almost half his health with Bubble Beam. My next Bubble Beam hits while he paralyzes me with Thunder Wave. I'm scared when his Shockwave does more than half damage to me, but my Feint Attack hits, finishing him off. That could have gone way worse. Next is Rock Tunnel. It wasn't that hard because I have a water type. At least I thought that because this camper with a Venusaur destroyed me. And I did end up learning Rock Slide. It did take a while, but eventually I made it through. After arriving in Lavender Town, I immediately head west to Celadon and challenge the Grass Gym. This will be brutal, so I might come back later. On the way, I reach level 49 and replace Feint Attack with Hydro Pump. This is my last level up move, so wish me luck. Well, I don't think the Grass Gym is happening. I get absolutely shut down by one of the trainers. I think this will have to be the second to last gym I do, even after Blaine. So I head back to Lavender Town and try the Pokemon Tower rival fight. This actually went well. His Pidgeotto lands a critical Quick Attack before going down to a Rock Slide, which sucks because Ivysaur is out next. His Ivysaur goes down to a couple more Rock Slides, but not before seriously messing us up with Razor Leaf. Next is Gyarados, which intimidates me so my attack is down, although it goes down in a few Rock Slides. Growlithe is next, and a single Bubble Beam takes care of it easily. Next is Kadabra, which goes down to a single Hydro Pump. I'm not gonna get too cocky too fast. If one of those Rock Slides missed, I would have been doomed. After going through the Game Corner hideout, I made it to Giovanni. It was a total sweep, only being hit with weak attacks. Not really much more to say here. After that, I headed to the Pokemon Tower and rescued Mr. Fuji to get the Pokeflute. After waking the Snorlax, I make my way to Fuchsia to challenge Koga. Coughing goes down no problem, but Muck comes out and destroys me. I might have to grind on the remaining trainers in the area. I also decide to teach Oscar Return and Surf to give the oomph that I need. While I grind, let's have a real talk for a second. Wishiwashi is so bad that at this point in the run, my stats are lower than my Quagsire at level 42 in my Sapphire with only Quagjump by 10 to 20 points. I didn't even have that hard of a time with the Blabos challenge at this point, even though my type, and crucially, my speed, were so much worse. I don't know if I'll even be able to beat the game with this Pokemon. I'll try my hardest though. Trying Koga again. Coughing is a one-shot, but Muck uses Minimize too much, so I lose. Next attempt goes better. Muck never uses Acid Armor, and I get lucky with my moves hitting, so it goes down, but not without doing tons of damage with Sludge. The next Coughing is a one-shot, and last is Wheezing. I Hydro Pump for over half its health before it uses Toxic. Luckily, the next Surf is enough to take it out. Jeez, I can barely handle special walls like Muck. Next, I decided to take on Silphco. Of course, I always forget where to go in here, so it took a while. Especially because I lost to normal trainers twice. But I eventually made it to Rival Fivel. First attempt goes horribly. His Pidgeot doesn't even die to my Rock Slide, even though I'm almost double his level. His Wing Attack crits me, and his Venusaur's Razor Leaf also crits me. This is terrible. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to beat Grass types without Ice Beam. Never mind! On the next attempt, his Pidgeot flinches to a Rock Slide, so now I'm at full health when Venusaur comes out. Then he makes the stupid decision to go for Sweet Scent as my return crits to bring him to red health. I take him out on the next turn. His Gyarados comes out, and I one-shot it with a critical Rock Slide. His Growlithe is an easy KO with Surf, and Alakazam goes down to one Hydro Pump. Holy crap, a little luck goes a long way. I didn't even take damage. Immediately after was Giovanni. His Nidorino is out first and doesn't even die to my Surf despite my level lead, but his Fury attack only hits twice and doesn't do much damage. His Nidoqueen comes out and doesn't die to a Surf, but just tail whips me before going down. I Hydro Pump his Kangaskhan, which does a bit over half before his Mega Punch does half my health and damage. Luckily, the following Hydro Pump hits, so it goes down. Last is Rhyhorn, which goes down to a Surf. Dang, if that second Hydro Pump missed, I would have died there. After wrapping that up, I tried the Psychic Gym. Okay, this battle sucked. Kadabra is no problem, but Mr. Mime doesn't die to a return and confuses me with Psybeam. I proceed to hit myself in confusion 3 times in a row before being taken to 3 HP with Psybeam and taking her out. Then Venomoth doesn't go down to Rock Slide, so its Gust finishes me off. Next attempt is a total sweep thanks to a lucky crit with Surf under Mr. Mime. Maybe I am ready for the Elite Four after all. Next, I try Erica. I think my new moves can help me defeat her low-level grass types, although I won't get my hopes up. I was right! Her Victory Bell doesn't go down in one return, somehow, and paralyzes me, so I'm doomed from the start. I take it out, but her Tangler destroys me after. Maybe I'll try a different strategy? Okay, again with this stupid as all hell battle. I try to surf her Victory Bell to prevent her from spamming potions, and I crit it to one-shot it. Her Tangela also goes down in one hit from Hydro Pump. Then her Vileplume comes out and hangs on from return, paralyzes me, heals with Giga Drain, then goes down to my following return. I'm impressed, but how in the hell am I not one-shotting Pokemon that are literally 45 levels lower than me? After Erica, I go to Cinnabar to try Blaine. But first, I revive the Dome Fossil to get Kabuto. It's not important to the challenge at all, but I think it's cool. I'm pretty sure he'll be a pushover. Yup, he was. I even wrote it in past tense to show that it happened too fast. Finally is Giovanni. I'm pretty sure he'll go just as well as Blaine went, except maybe his Nidoqueen surviving a hit or something. Well, I was wrong. It was a total one-shot sweep. No damage taken at all. I don't really have much else to say here. He also gave me the TM for Earthquake, so that might come in handy later. Next is the rival before the Pokemon League. His Pidgeot goes down easily, but his Venusaur absolutely destroys me with Razor Leaf after a growth. My returns do virtually nothing, so I essentially just have to get lucky. I try a couple more times and get destroyed by Venusaur. Maybe if I replace Rock Slide with Ice Beam, I'll be able to win? Alright, I'm back with Ice Beam, and it just barely does under half. Maybe a few levels would help? I'm pretty close to level 80. With some grinding done, I come back to see what would happen, and I lose in the same way. I use the rest of my rare candies to level up to 84, and see what happens. I still cannot win. My attacks are barely becoming more powerful. I just have to look for a lucky crit or freeze. Luckily enough, on my next attempt, I got that freeze and took out Venusaur before it could hurt me. Next is Rhyhorn, which dies to a Surf, then Gyarados comes out and goes down in 4 Ice Beams. Growlithe is next, going down to a single Surf, and finally is Alakazam, which doesn't die to a Hydro Pump and kills me with Psychic. God damn it. I come back at level 90. The crit is Pidgeot for the KO, his Venusaur comes in and my Ice Beam does half, but he just goes for growth. Then I land another crit to take it out as Rhyhorn comes in and is an easy one-shot. Then I get a crit on his Gyarados with Ice Beam as he just goes for Rain Dance, which powers up my water moves. His Growlithe goes down no problem, and last is his Alakazam. Because the rain is still active, it goes down in one hit to Hydro Pump. I did not expect that, to say the least. I still can't believe that I had to be level 90 for that, which probably means I should just max out my level before going to the league. After getting to level 100, let's look at my stats. Oh boy, those are bad. Not only are my attack and defense stats below 80, but my speed isn't that great either. I just hope I don't hit a roadblock because I have no idea what I'll do. I also give Oscar the Mystic Water to help as much as possible. Well, let's take on the Elite Four. Here goes. Lorelei is first, and her Dugong is very annoying. Between Hail and Ice Beam, it takes almost half my health away. Cloyster comes out and protects spams as I miss Hydro Pump, so by the next time I take it out I only have 1 PP left, and the hail does a lot of passive damage to me. Next is Slowbro, and I just sort of die after that. If I can just not get her to heal her Dugong, I'm good. This battle was essentially not possible. I tried for over half an hour to try to defeat her, but I always ended up being 1 hit away from winning. So I decided to go and get the leftovers to see what I can do. This fight is still insanely luck-based, but significantly more winnable now. I still have to not get put to sleep by either Slowbro or Jinx, and have to hope Lapras goes smoothly. I got this attempt where everything went smoothly. I woke up at the perfect times, she used Amnesia instead of attacking me, the leftovers kept me alive throughout the whole battle, and the Lapras fight went well. with her mostly using moves that I resist. That battle was insane, and hopefully the last roadblock. Next was Bruno, and he was easy. His first Onyx goes down to a Surf. Hitmonchan doesn't quite die to a Hydro Pump, but his Rock Tomb misses, so I'm good. And he goes down in 2 more Surfs after healing. Hitmonlee goes down to 2 Surfs as well, while landing a Mega Kick for decent damage. Next out is Machamp, who takes just over half health with Hydro Pump and misses Rock Tomb. He heals with the Citrus Berry, so he's out of KO range from Surf. But luckily, my return crits for the KO. Last is his other Onyx, which goes down to a Surf, no surprise. Next is Agatha. Her Gengar goes down in 2 Surfs despite using Double Team and scaring the crap out of me. Her Golbat surprisingly doesn't die from Ice Beam, so she heals it as it uses Confuse Ray. 2 follow-up Surfs take it out. Next is Arbok, which goes down in 2 Surfs, but not before poisoning me with Sludge Bomb. Next is her other Gengar, which goes down to a Surf and a Hydro Pump. Last is her Haunter, which I try for the Hydro Pump to kill it, but it misses and I die from poison and a curse that she puts on me. So close. A few bad luck attempts later, I get one where it goes mostly the same, except I don't get poisoned from Arbok and her second Gengar misses Hypnosis, so I get to Haunter at full health. The Haunter fight goes horribly, with her hitting Hypnosis and healing from Dream Eater, which is massive damage. Eventually I win, but it's really close. Last of the Elite Four is Lance. First is Gyarados, which takes forever to take down, despite just using Dragon Rage most of the time. Then he uses Hyper Beam, which destroys my health, making me unable to survive Dragonair's Outrage. I just need to get lucky. Well, I was right. This battle, while not nearly as insane as Lorelei was, just needs an outstanding combination of high damage rolls, favorable move choice, and good accuracy luck. The winning attempt went as follows. His Gyarados goes down with a clever combination of returns and Ice Beams, so as to not land it into healing range. Next is Dragonair number 1, which goes down to a single Ice Beam. Then Dragonair number 2 comes out and doesn't quite go down to Ice Beam and gets a Dragon Rage out. He heals it as I Surf for a little damage and take it out on the following turn. His Dragonite comes in and survives Ice Beam before outraging for a lot of damage. His Citrus Berry heals him, so I decide not to risk anything and use my last Ice Beam to take it out. Last is Aerodactyl, and luckily my Hydro Pump hits and KOs him. I really hope the champion goes well. First is his Pidgeot, which goes down to a critical Ice Beam. But then his Venusaur comes out and tanks my Ice Beams too well, which means he can charge a Solar Beam, which one-shots me. I had this attempt where Pidgeot uses Sand Attack before going down, but then my Ice Beam froze his Venusaur, so I was able to take it out. His Alakazam wasn't an issue with 2 returns doing the job, and Rhydon is a one-shot with Surf. But his Gyarados is where it all falls apart. After many attempts, I finally get a good one. First, his Pidgeot uses Aerial Ace instead of Sand Attack, so my accuracy is good throughout the whole fight. Next is Venusaur, who gets frozen by my Ice Beam, so I return to not put it into healing range. But my next Ice Beam doesn't kill it, so he full restores, as I return for a little bit of damage. He goes for Solar Beam, so my next 2 Ice Beams are enough to take it out. Alakazam comes in and uses Future Sight, so I could take it out with 2 returns. Rhydon is a one-shot, and Gyarados just spams Dragon Rage, so a couple of Ice Beams, as well as a well-timed critical hit, take it out. Last is Arcanine, which uses Extreme Speed to bring me to 16 HP before my Hydro Pump doesn't quite take it out. He heals up a bunch of times while I continuously spam Surf until he finally decides to use Extreme Speed again. But my leftovers have healed me enough to the point where I could survive on 2 HP and finish him off. I really hope you all enjoyed that challenge. I hope that 2023 is the year where I can start posting more of these videos, because I have some more challenges planned. The next video will probably be a redo of my first challenge video on this channel. Stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys later.